The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of chat. So get ready to eat shit, nerds, because we're talking C, Season 3, Episode 1, Heavy Hangs the Head. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are excited as hell to be able to be here today to talk about Season 3 of C. If you guys have been following this podcast for a long time, you'll know that we have some good friends on the production and cast of C, and we're going to be covering the hell out of this TV show, so buckle up for the next 10 weeks because it's going to be a ton of fun. If you're brand new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple iTunes if you're into the audio end of things. Welcome, everybody. So stoked to be here. Matt Vader, what's up, dude?
I don't know, man. This show's so weird to me right now because we're at this point. We're in season 3 now, and we've interviewed half the people that work on this show. And so now I'm just watching the show and know that guy. It's like, I've talked to him. I know why they did that. And I didn't get a fucking swag bag, and I'm pissed off about it.
I don't give a shit. They could keep their hoodies. Apple.
I love hoodies.
What's up, Jude?
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I expect you to be very excited for this.
You know what? It's so weird because like we started with this show from episode 1 and we watched it grow into like this epic show. It started off so fucking weird and bad, but we stuck with it and now it's ending. So it's so bittersweet.
I know.
I'm really excited to see how it all ends. And I'm gonna like ride the ship down, but I'm so sad that it's gonna be over.
I feel like the quality of our podcast has rode the same wave as this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's
Stupid fucking jar corks.
Goddamn jar corks. Stupid water bottles. It's goofy. It's fun. And I've been having a blast with you guys talking about it. I'm so glad that you introduced us to this show because it was not even on my radar back in season 1. And you were like, guys, we have to fucking watch this. Yeah. And here we are. Matt Takaitis is also here. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because our podcast is kind of like intimately linked with C because it was like one of the first shows that we actually like reviewed on an episode by episode basis when we started the podcast back in 2019 when we were just doing audio and we'd go over to Alex's place and just like he'd have his fold out table with his $3 Amazon microphones out there. And we would just sit down, we'd start talking about this and we tried to figure out we tried to make sense of this world. Because we were all big Jason Momoa fans and we wanted to like the show, but every episode had something even dumber and dumber and dumber in it. And it got to the point where it was so bad it was good, where we actually enjoyed kind of like the badness of it. Yeah. And as the seasons have gone on, like I remember last season watching about like 2 episodes in, I think I was like, God damn, this show's getting good. I don't like the fact that it's getting good. It's making it hard to make fun of it.
Like I went back and watched some of our old episodes from season 2 and we were immediately like within the first episode, we were like, guys, they fucking listened to us. Like they fixed this and they fixed that. And this has now made sense. Like,
and it's been interesting to kind of hear about how people on the actual production have gotten exposed to our show. And in fact, we've had numerous reports from people on the set. It's like, I wonder how the salty nerds are going to react to this one.
You guys, I feel like we need to toast to the lost episode.
Yeah.
The lost episode available at saltynerdclub.com where we get way too drunk to podcast.
It's mostly me.
That's right, because we didn't even make it through the first season, did we?
No, we stopped because I was like, I can't fucking talk about this show anymore. And then we started up again later and we finished it off. It was well worth it. All right, folks. If you guys are brand new to our channel, you can head over to our playlist area and we have all of our interviews with the cast and crew available there for you right now with many more to come. So stay tuned if you want to get behind the scenes of this show. We have Sylvia Hooks coming out pretty soon, Michael Snyman, who's the cinematographer, and probably David Hewlett will be back on to talk about it as well. And Jonathan Tropper, I think we might have on the hook to talk about it for like a season 3 cap.
We also have playlists for all of our C reviews. So if you want to go and catch up on our reviews, because we do break down every episode, you can find those on our Discord playlist and also at saltynerd.com/playlist.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back and we're going to dive into this episode. So hang tight.
Even you, Baba Boss, nothing more than a speck of shit on the ass of a bug.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support what we do here, you can download a mobile game called Dragon Champions. Go to saltynerd.com/DC on Apple and Android devices and download a mobile game. It's a lot of fun. We play it here on the podcast. We actually have our own guild set up. So if you go in there, download the game, type in Salty in the promo code area, it gives you a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a leg up about the competition. That didn't make any sense. It's okay. And it's really easy to get into, really easy to play and put down and then pick it up later on when you want to jump in. Make sure to do your dailies so that you can progress to level 20 and join our guild.
Yeah, the game is really fun and it's completely free. And by playing it, you actually support us if you use our promo code. So if you want to help support the show, it's a great way to do it.
All right, let's get into season 3. Kadish, take it away.
All right. Season 3, episode 1, Heavy Hangs the Head. It has been about 256 days since Baba Voss fucked off into the winter wonderland of Paya, and we opened the episode in the desolate wastes of Toledo, aka the Travantian Ganite border. Everyone's favorite sighted lesbian Ren is back, and she's part of the Travantian phalanx sent to quell the minor uprising of Chicago Bears fans. I mean, Ganite marauders. The Bears fans immediately shoot harpoons at the phalanx and follow the ropes tied to them, rushing the Travanti soldiers like they were the Capitol on January 6th. In danger of being overwhelmed, the Travanti soldiers retreat to the Cliffs of Insanity. JK, it's just a big dry riverbed with a rigged cargo loader winch that they can slide down and get away from the rabid Bears fans. Seeing that some of the Ganite marauders are following them down the winch, Ren waits as long as she can before cutting the rope, surviving the fall to the riverbed floor, but ensuring the Ganites following her were fucked. But before she can celebrate her victory, the Bears fans start chucking their weapons from the top of the cliff, shouting, "Fuck the Steelers!" as valuable and much-needed swords and knives rain down around Ren, who barely gets away. Ren and the remaining Travanti soldiers rush to the safety of their base within a derelict battleship in the dried-up harbor. As soon as they are safely inside, they seal the entrance with a satellite dish, secure with the knowledge that they are now protected from the Ganite menace with the full might of DirecTV.
Epic opening.
Yeah, very epic.
The battle scenes was pretty brutal. I love, again, just the attention to detail with how these people are fighting blind with like the ropes. Like, oh, we're going to stick one of them and then we're going to use the rope to guide us into the battlefield.
Some of the dudes, the extra blind guys had to use the rope.
Yeah. The other ones just ran for it.
The other couple hundred didn't
did you
worry
notice
about
that there were knots in the ropes? And so there were messages.
Oh, really?
Like,
I'm going to fuck you up.
I thought it was funny, like when they were like retreating, like the guys who were running, they're just like waving their swords in front of them. And it's just like that. I don't know how that works.
But at the same time, I feel like they're playing real fast and loose with the blind rules now in the fights because some of them know exactly where to exactly where and when to get the good
it's
shots.
It's the earshot, man. Yeah, I can hear the footsteps. I can hear the footsteps.
Some guys run into the rope when they're jumping off the cliff. Some of them just don't. Fuck.
So this is actually our first time ever seeing the Ganites, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so we've never seen them in season 2.
They don't last very long.
But they don't last very long.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be like a much bigger deal.
Yeah, like the way we talked about them the last season, they were like, the freaking Ganites are a big fucking deal for the Travantis.
I feel like when we were interviewing the crew, I feel like they gaslit us a bit. They were like, oh, the Ganites.
Wait for that Ganite. But they're just like a bunch of burlap sack angry people.
In season 2, like we kept theorizing like who the Ganites were, and finally Tropper just said like they're from Michigan.
Yeah,
Michiganites.
The fucking Bears. The Bears.
The Bears. And I actually went on Google Maps and I tried to figure out where the Travanti Ganite border was, and I'm pretty sure it's Toledo.
Nice.
Pretty sure.
What is this giant canyon they're jumping into?
It's a dried riverbed.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the Cliffs of Insanity reference though, because it does look like that.
Don't even.
Is this supposed to be a real place or whatever?
They did shoot it in a real location, yeah. I'm sure it's touched up with CGI and such, but the location that they filmed at did
I
have
want to know
big...
if I can go to this riverbed that's 600 feet deep and has a giant battleship.
I mean, that ship, that ship is there.
And why is the riverbed dry? Is there like global warming going on?
Well, yeah, because the sighted people destroyed everything, remember?
Yeah.
It's probably like a nuclear holocaust, bro.
Huh.
Well, no, what was it? It was
they filled all the water bottles up with the river.
I don't feel like there was like a water issue with the last 2 seasons. It's just now we're in a desolate
what's
dry
weird
area.
about it is that so all the rivers in that area of the country come from Lake Erie, like the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
So unless they built a dam to kind of like dam up that river, either Lake Erie is like completely dry now, or something's going on there. We just don't know.
But I have seen behind the scenes footage of this area, and there was a giant cliff, so it was filmed in a real place.
Yeah. I'm wondering about the satellite dish.
Yeah, when they dropped that thing, I was like,
I literally said that's the world's worst door.
Yeah, it's got giant gaps on both sides.
And I'm like, how am I going to talk about the door without fucking pissing Tropper off? And it's like, bro, what is? Do you have something that actually seals the door?
He's like, Vader, here's all the reasons why you're wrong.
See that there's gaps.
They can't see that there's gaps, but they can one-shot people in the jugular with their fucking swords.
Well, they used echolocation.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's funny is like they just dropped the satellite dish and it just leans up.
Yeah, it just leans against the door.
And it kind of wobbles back and forth.
It's like perfect too. It doesn't because it's round. It doesn't fall over at all. It's just like, nope, this is where I'm supposed to be.
It's kind of like you go to the mall and you have that one janky door. It doesn't really that opens when you get close to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It just takes too long.
It's just like,
got some sand in the fucking things. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have just a sheet of the hull that they salvage from other places to
maybe
kind of be flush up against there.
Where the fuck did they get the satellite dish from?
Yeah,
well, it's from the ship. No,
is it from the ship?
Yeah, it was from the battleship because they do have satellites on there for communications.
And there's one other thing I have to mention, and the only reason why I know it's going to be a nitpicky bitch move, but I have to say it because it made me laugh when I watched it. Is that there's a scene where they have they were doing the Spartan shield thing where they had a wall, and then one of the Ganates leaps over it and jumps in behind, and you can clearly see Timberland boot treads on the bottom of his boots, and I'm just like, I'm fucking glad they're still around 500 years later. Yeah, it's good shit.
Mm-hmm. Worth the money.
Where were the dudes, the kids running around on the backs of the dudes, telling them where to go?
Oh, the Master Blasters?
Yeah, where are they?
That was a failed experiment by Ito.
Did this unit of soldiers?
They didn't need
exiled
those.
up to this wasteland.
Yes, actually they did.
I know. Did they not have any?
No, they don't get Master Blasters.
Well,
Master Blaster units.
The Ganites don't have Master Blasters, but you would think that Ren would be using her sight in some way to kind of help out her group.
Well, it seems like she's still trying to hide it.
She's in secret.
No, she is hiding it, but you would think that after Green Hill Gap, Ito relied on her to get them places faster, and she could have seen them coming.
But Ito was protecting her, and now that he's gone, she has no shield against the superstition that sighted people.
And he
are the
didn't
devil.
find out that she was sighted.
He knew the whole time because remember, because he tells Hewlett.
Well, he finds out in the truth about unicorns, which I believe is episode 8 or 9 of season 2.
So, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
Remember when they're doing the puzzle?
Yes.
When did Ito have the chance to tell Tormaga that she could see? Tormaga was
probably sent him a rope.
He was out fucking around making bombs when
they had to have
during the whole
a powwow. Hey, just so you know, this chick can see. I'm sure it happened.
Okay.
We're going to go with that.
All right.
Continue on, Kate.
All right. Back in Pensa, crazy Queen Kane is experiencing the glorious pain of childbirth as Queen Magra is playing the role of midwife now that Paris is dead. In what appears to be a difficult birth, Queen Kane is finally able to poop out the baby in its cocoon, and Magra is able to get it crying. Congratulations, crazy Queen Kane. It's a boy named Wolfie. Though Queen Kane is happy about the birth of Wolfie, you know who isn't happy? If you guessed Kofun, you'd be right, because apparently he still regrets fucking his aunt. And at this point, who could blame him? Now that the baby's born, Harlan and Tamakta June show up because they want to get rid of their crazy bitch queen ASAP. But Magra holds them off, saying that the baby still needs Sibeth until they can find a wet nurse to feed Wolfie. Meanwhile, as Queen Kane feeds Wolfie, she wonders if her baby can see her and vows that she will never allow anyone to take Wolfie from her.
All right, listen.
Right in front of Magra.
Listen.
Yeah, and Magra's like a Naira, right? So
yeah, she hears everything.
Don't worry, I'm not going to let the lady standing right next to me take you.
Oh, God. Listen. This has to be said across the board, not just for this show, but for every prop department out there. You've gone too far with the babies. These motherfuckers look way too goddamn real, and it freaks me out. When that thing's in the sack and she's ripping it open and the baby comes jiggling out, I was like,
my baby, don't jiggle. It
I was was like, that's too fucking real, man. It was freaking me out, dude.
Maybe it was real.
Yeah, God, I hope not. I was like, but I was watching. I'm like, that is fucking amazing craftsmanship. I don't know how they did it. Like, I'm used to like old 90s and 80s shows where they have a baby. It's just obviously a doll.
It's like a year old.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
That's not a newborn.
That's not a newborn. That shit looked real, and it did legit me. Like, it freaked me out. Like, I was like, oh, I was uncomfortable watching that scene.
You hate kids. So.
I do hate kids. I have too many of them. But I've been present for 3 births, and that looked fucking legit. So
You know who I feel was a little bit overlooked in this scene was that. So in season 2, once Queen Kane was put under house arrest. She had these 2 guards who were always outside her door that never stopped anyone from trying to strangle her or anything like that. And in my head, I just named them Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Okay.
And they're back. They're just hanging out in the hallway. And then when Tamakta June and Magra are having their powwow, they just like close the doors to like, guard the inside of the room, I guess. But I just love these guys because I could just see them like kind of like going to the bar after work and talking about all the crazy shit they heard.
They can't wait
guard.
to go home and tell their wives, guess what happened today?
This is
She finally pooped out the baby.
That's so gross. We got to talk about Kofun.
Yeah, we got
this motherfucker
and his stupid haircut.
This epitome of a weak bitch.
Oh my God. She's just like, I'm so mad.
That's not my baby.
It's not my baby. I didn't have that baby. Like, bro. God damn it, Kofun.
Yeah, we're going to get to him a little bit more in a bit, but like he shows up for the birth and he's just kind of like outside listening to like what's going on.
Yeah.
I think he's really hoping that like either like it's stillborn or like, there's a miscarriage or something at this point, because like the look on Kofun's face where he's just like,
when he hears it cry and he's like, oh shit,
I don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't want it. It's terrible. He's a bad person.
Yeah, we've talked to the people who write this show, right? And we've been like, so Kofun, like, are you going to do anything to help fix this character? And they're just like, no. They're like, we're going to make you hate him more. He's beyond redemption. We're going to make him a deadbeat dad. We're going to make him a guy who fucks his hands.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, you made a mistake. You fucked up, dude. You got to own something at some point in time.
And I can only assume.
He doesn't have to.
I can only assume that, like, everyone in his life has been like, hey, you have 9 months to figure your shit out.
Yeah.
It's the day the baby's being born. He's still like,
like, at this point, just, like, fuck off to the woods like your father did.
seriously,
like,
go find your dad.
Yeah, just go.
out.
Just out. Let's let something else
Just
happen.
drill morale this kid.
Perfect.
Yeah, leave him a box of books. And be like, have fun, kid.
Yeah. Figure it out. I did.
I'm going to go build a compound.
Maybe you can find a really nice stepdad.
Yeah, I think Harlan would be a great stepdad.
Harlan's fucking awesome.
Harlan would be a great stepdad.
Yeah, I dig it. Let's get to Harlan. He comes up pretty soon.
Seriously, I love that guy.
Go ahead, Kadish.
Rin and what remains of her Travanti soldier squad are licking their wounds inside the USS DirecTV, wondering how Bears fans could be such assholes. Luckily, Lieutenant Commander Dr. Rodney Tormata shows up from Base 3, and the soldiers are surprised that the late Edo Voss's chief scientist is now among them. Tormata points out that Rin was banished to the front lines of the war with the Ganites after the failure at Green Hill Gap, and the other soldiers wonder what good a scientist is going to do in the battle. But these soldiers obviously haven't been watching Tormata's Tech Bandits live streams, because as Tormata is quick to remind them, science is going to win the war for them.
That line.
I blinded them with science.
That line, dude. Science is here to save you.
Because science is gonna save you, Colonel. Science is gonna win this war for you.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Hewlett is loving this.
Oh my God.
He is so
He is
hamming up
such a slime.
This bad guy role.
Yes.
I love it. I really do. He is, and it's not because that he's basically a salty nerd at this point,
Right.
But he is hamming this shit.
Oh my God.
up,
He's
and
doing
loving
his
it. I love
own
it.
like Hewlett impression of Queen Kane, I feel like. He's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I'm going to science.
I mean, that line alone must have just been so much fun to say for him. Like the characters that he's played before, plus the stuff that he does in his real world, it's just like, Science will save you.
I can't wait to talk to him more about this
damn it,
guy.
dude. It was so funny.
He's hands down my favorite part.
I want to ask you guys. So basically, we got introduced to David Hewlett, the actor who plays Tormata, during season 2 when we were interviewing the cast and crew, and we've become very good friends with him. We've been on his live stream before. He's been on our show multiple times. Is it weird watching him on screen now that we've gotten to know him so well?
A little bit.
So
I think it makes it better.
yeah, I'm with Jude. Like, I don't think it's weird. I don't see David when I watch the show. I see the character because it's so bonkers and his eyes are all fucked up and he's got a completely different way of speaking. Like, I really do just see Tormata when I'm watching this, but it does add an extra layer.
Because you can see how much fun he's having with the character.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is. Like, I can tell he's just having a blast. And I think that adds a little bit of extra layer to this show for me right now.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Yeah. What about you, Kadish?
I feel a little shilly, honestly, when it comes to him, but I can't help it.
I've always been a fan of Hewlett's work ever since, Stargate Atlantis. And you can tell like he is just savoring every minute with this character. Or like he just walks in and he's like, he's the bad guy of the season. He's the big bad. And he just chews the scenery every minute he's on screen. And I loved it. So yeah, like, I've always been a Hewlett shill. So like getting to know him, he is my best friend now. So
go ahead, continue on.
All right. Back in Pensa, Magra is singing a lullaby to her new grandchild when Kofun shows up just in time to disown Wolfie, taking a page from Jerla Morel's book on how to be the worst dad ever. Kofun fucks off to the Smelly Barrel where Harlan finds him. Kofun asks, "How did you find me?" as though there was some other bar deadbeat fathers go to drown their sorrows inside of Pensa. "Thank you for never changing, Kofun. We love you just the way you are." Anyway, Harlan then tries to give Kofun fatherly advice about being a father, and Kofun's all like, "You're not my dad, man." And Harlan tells him that Kofun doesn't need a dad, Wolfie does, especially with a mom as deranged, murderous, and insane as Queen Kane. Harlan then insists that bartender Rhodey get out the good stuff so he and his bratty stepson can get properly wasted.
Dude, Harlan is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like the way he talks down to Kofun, he's like, "I'm not talking about you, you prick. I'm talking about your son.
Yeah.
He's going to be a confused kid. He needs somebody. You could be that somebody."
I know you think that everything is about you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not.
There's other people around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the way he talks to him. Like, it's because Kofun immediately was like, fucking fatherly advice bullshit. But like,
You know what? Kofun and Hanoa both have gone through 3 seasons of this show just being like, "I know everything." And it's nice when like they get a little smack down. Like, dude, you don't know what even is the best booze in the bar. Just shut up. You just got here.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Harlan's, I think, might be my favorite character so far of this season. Like, I loved him in season 2, but he didn't have a lot to do. But this, like, so far, what I've
Every
seen,
time he was on screen, he was a joy to watch.
yeah, he's
though.
awesome. He's so sarcastic, but he's also very suave. His character's
He's a
freaking
charming
fun.
prick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys picked up on this or not, but the bartender in the scene at the Smelly Barrel was played by Joe Strecche, who's the blindness consultant on the show.
Right on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah, so shout out to Joe. He's the one who teaches everyone how to act blind.
Nice.
But I do like how Kofun's just like, "How'd you know where to find me?" And it's like, oh, like the pissing pole couldn't mask your scent or something like that.
Kofun's just like, "Well, I didn't see you coming, so I don't know how you found me."
He's like, bro,
There's
this
like
is my city.
one bar in the city.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my city, dude. Like, I grew up here. I run the whole show. Like, I know what's going
I
on.
stocked the fucking bar.
Yeah. God damn it, bro.
Yeah, I think Harlan actually owns that place.
He probably does.
Probably does.
Final note on Harlan.
It is his town, right?
Still the best beard in the show.
It's well manicured.
Jude was a little annoyed at like the stuff on the back of his head.
Oh, the ponytail things? He's got like little rat tails going on back
braids.
there. Little
Not a
braids.
fan.
Not a fan? I still love his beard. That didn't go over as well as I thought. All right, moving on. Continue, Kadish.
All right. Back in Toledo, the Travantians are assembled outside the USS DirecTV as Ren watches Olamond rigging the dry riverbed with their mysterious secret weapon. Then, the massive army of Bears fans has somehow made their way down the cliffs of insanity and are now bum-rushing the Travantians. Though the soldiers are freaking out that they're about to get overrun, Dr. Rodney Tormata stays cool, shouts, "Fuck Mike Ditka, Steelers rule," and then blows the Ganites the fuck up. Ren gets immediate PTSD from being able to witness carnage worse than the Steelers' 1989 loss to the Browns, but Tormata basks in the aroma of victory, saying, I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning. Olomon sheds a tear over man's inhumanity to man, and every Ayura in a 10-mile radius is now bleeding from the ears. But hey, fuck the bears, am I right?
Fun scene. I love the visuals of it. I love Joe Morel's kid with like the gas mask on. Very intimidating, very cool, very like.
How come he's the only one that gets a gas mask,
I don't know. Dystopian. There's two things that I noticed about this that I kind of like was like tilting my head about. One, he lights a fuse. That is like one of those old school, like old Western fuses that just goes.
It's a cannon fuse.
How the fuck long did they know how to put that out for before the Ganites showed up? They
Science.
Were like,
they knew science.
They're like, light the fuse, and I can picture this guy being like, "How long do you want it?"
Well, because you can hear the footsteps.
At least 15 minutes long of a fuse.
They're
like,
gonna need a
until
new
they
group of
show
Ayuras.
up.
I want to know how all the Ganites got down that cliff.
One at a time on a rope.
Yeah. It was overnight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had time to do shit.
They tore up their Bible and tied them together.
Yeah, that surprisingly was not an issue that I had. I mean, maybe they went down a mile down the
different-
river,
yeah, a different way
went down
somewhere.
the stairs or something.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. The second thing that I noticed, and this has nothing to do with the quality of the show or anything like that, when Ren and her group of people are standing there, it's a byproduct of like the COVID filming that they had to go through with this show. And you can tell like everybody's strategically placed 6 feet apart from each other. And I'm like, normally I'd be like, oh man, that sucks. I hate when that happens because it kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit for me. Like, oh, this was obviously filmed when they were doing, the COVID lockdown shit. And there's like nothing they could do to get around it. It just shows up in the show.
I mean, they made it look like military formation.
It's not
it didn't take me out.
It's not nearly as bad as like a Star Wars show where they did the same thing. And it was like so obvious that they were doing that. But like, I don't know. It just bums me out a little bit. Like a little bit of the real world is peeking in through this show. It kind of bums me out.
You know what kind of bummed me out about this scene was like, so when the Ganites are approaching, like Tormata specifically calls up the local Ayura, and it's just like, how many are approaching? And she like listens
in,
and he doesn't tell anyone to like cover their ears. That poor Ayura was probably dead because of those.
He covers his ears.
He wanted to put on a spectacle. He wanted to make a show out of it.
He's standing there with glee. He's like, I'm gonna fuck this Ayura up. You're never gonna work again.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that Ayura.
Fuck them all, I think.
Because he actually does cover his ears. You guys notice that? He like goes like this. Okay, guys, here we go.
Yeah, but he doesn't warn anyone else. Just to be a dick
But you
about
know
it.
what? At least all the good guys.
Torontians?
Yeah, they all at least like acted like they were in pain from the noise.
Yeah.
So
that was a nice note.
that was a nice little touch that they
dig
threw in
that.
there. Oh my god! Oh.
Yeah, but there's some like Ayura in like freaking Toledo on the outskirts, and he's just like, oh, my ears are bleeding.
That happens. It's a byproduct.
Yeah.
But the visuals of this scene were cool, and I loved Tormata's reaction. Like as soon as the explosions were over, he just kind of like inhales. He's just like,
You know what happened during that scene, right?
What happened?
That satellite dish got blown the fuck off the hole.
It was hanging by its little strings above them. Did you see that in the background?
I'm sure it just went bloink.
Yeah.
So now they're never going to be able to cover that.
No, they don't have to anymore.
Cover
They
that
can
hole
leave.
again. Yeah.
They're done. They killed. Is that all of the Ganites? I think that was the whole army,
war
right?
is basically over.
Yeah,
now,
they
right?
said the war is won.
Yeah,
We're good.
they were
They
like,
killed-
let's move on.
They killed their massive army of 200 people.
They're
done.
All
Yeah.
50 of them.
Nothing left but women and children back home making
Going like, where the
corn
fuck did they
and
go?
shit.
I heard something pop a while ago. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
There has to be like a Norseman style like side spin off of this show.
Oh, you mean like it's gonna be like some of the old blind dudes going around the edge?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, man, we're gonna like come in from the side, we'll come from behind.
Yeah.
Flower. Oh, that's really cool. Let's go get that squirrel over there.
Yeah. We gotta get Orm.
Get Orm.
He's got to be in this show.
The Ganites second in command.
I can't tell you what happened, but I will reenact it for you.
This show is ripe for like a comedic spinoff. I'm just telling you, man, it has to happen. All right, go ahead and continue on, Keish.
all right. In Pensa, Hanawa and Charlotte are in the market, and Charlotte is trying to make sense of the Kane family tree, which is George R.R. Martin levels of complicated. Magra is both Wolfie's grandmother and aunt, while Sibith is both Wolfie's mom and aunt. Kofun is Wolfie's father, but also cousin, which makes Hanawa both cousin and aunt to Wolfie. This, of course, makes Baba Voss Wolfie's father's aunt, sister's cousin's former roommate. Everyone got that?
Got it.
Yep.
As Charlotte is still trying to figure out how everyone relates to each other, Hanawa notices another sighted person in the market who runs off the moment he realizes Hanawa can see him. And Hanawa's all like, WTF, bro?
Yeah. It's like, what up?
Hannah was really bugging me.
Why?
Because she's just like, oh, you can see.
Yeah.
Hi. Let's tell everyone. Besties, right? Like, Hannah, like, that's not yours to tell. Shut the fuck up. Go buy your groceries.
I mean, come on now. I mean, that dude looked like some fucking hippie ass Rested Root listening motherfucker. That guy's he can see. No.
So
no thanks.
Are we establishing like there's like a sighted colony of people?
There's more people out there than we think they can see.
More than we can think.
Sure.
More
because
than
they're just kind of like randomly popping into.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't mind the way she did that because she didn't like say anything. She just looked. They had like a moment.
But she wants to, and she's so irritated that the other sighted people don't want to be as open about being sighted as her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ren and Jor-El Morrell Jr. did the same thing on the battlefield, except they.
Yeah, they looked at each other, but they were just like, "Sup."
Yeah.
You can see? Yeah, I can see.
We good?
Yeah.
We good? Okay, cool.
Right on.
All right, cool.
So that's how she should have done it.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what's weird?
cool.
What's weird is that Pensa is supposed to be like a safe haven for people of sight, as Queen Magra declared it. So like it's no longer illegal to like be able to see, and so you'd think that over the course of like the past year, more sighted people would have showed up there, and there'd be like a contingent of them. But like we're getting the sense that like there's only like these handful, and when Hannah does find them, she's so excited, and they're just like, "No, get the fuck away from me."
And like all the townspeople are like, "Boo, boo, witches!"
Goddamn Salem witch trials going on.
I will say, I felt like
Burner.
Charlotte was a real standout in this scene.
Oh,
like it's good
Charlotte.
to see Charlotte again.
Her
And-
commentary in the background where she's like trying to figure out the familial ties between everybody is fucking hilarious.
She's like, "Your family's fucking weird, dude."
It's like these people are freaking like Targaryens or something from Game of Thrones, or they live in southern Oregon, where I come from, because fucking everybody's related up there. Somehow.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Well, you would think that the mountain tribes would have like a little bit more. Remember that whole episode where they had to go find fresh blood?
Oh,
because-
yeah. Remember
because
season
brothers-
one?
Like the Baxes were like fucking each other and stuff like that.
Remember season one?
They have whole festivals.
Yeah, man.
Dedicated
Fuck
to nothing.
festivals.
I miss the burlap twins.
Nothing. They're dedicated to nothing but bumping uglies, getting some new fresh DNA in the mix.
What did they say in season one? They were like, the blood of the tribe has grown through thick. I'm like, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah. Too many people with 6 toes and a third eyeball.
These fucking Baxters are fucking each other.
Well, when you can't see, it's just kind of like, well, like I don't know if I fucked my cousin or not.
Well, they had to wear a different. Whatever. That's season one. Yeah, go ahead. Continue on. What happens next?
All right. Back in the empty Maumee riverbed in Toledo, Tormata leads Ren and his goon Maddox through the remains of the still smoldering Bears fans. He reveals that Ito told him of Ren's ability to see and that he is devoting himself to avenging his fallen friend and carrying on Ito's plan, even if it goes against the Triangle. Tormata recruits Ren to help him get revenge on Baba Voss and aid him in a planned conquest of the East, and then conquering what lies beyond Paya, building the greatest empire the world has ever known, just like the ancients did in the Pegasus Galaxy before the arrival of the Wraith. Tormata then leaves Maddox to help Ren clean up the last of the Ganites in Toledo, then escorts her back to Travantes. When Ren objects to her leaving her battalion, Tormata points out that Ren is too valuable to leave on the front lines. He then fucks off because Lieutenant Commander Dr. Rodney Tormata has got things to do, and they all involve getting revenge against Baba Voss.
I have something I want to talk about because when I watched this scene, I was like, this is freaking so cool. So there's the way that they filmed this scene where it almost looked like an old school side-scrolling video game where they had the characters in the background with like a foreground in the front, and it was just out of focus, but you got the characters and they're just walking across this horizon. And in the foreground is just body parts, just bloody stumps and hands and legs and bones protruding out. And I thought that was really freaking cool. It was a non-grotesque way of showing the destruction of the explosions. And it wasn't like in your face. Like it didn't feel like a Game of Thrones war scene where like people were getting their legs and shit chopped off. It was just like, it was there if you were looking for it, but it wasn't like in your face.
And it came out of nowhere too. Like no one even did a haka dance first.
That's what they needed to do, a haka dance.
Yeah.
For sure.
afterwards to celebrate or before, right? Just to, yeah. Well, nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I think
I haven't seen a good haka dance since season 1.
Hewlett knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Tormata did.
But he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to make a splash. He wanted to make a
Yeah.
scene.
He just wanted to bask in the glory.
Tormata was laying down some big dick energy in the
He
scene.
absolutely was. It's like,
yeah.
just relax, do what I tell you, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then kaboom.
Yeah.
It was
And they're
holy
like,
shit.
you should have told us to cover our fucking ears. I would have really appreciated a scene where they were just like passing out rags or something and been like, okay, stuff this in your ears.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, one of the things I did like about this scene is they kind of expanded upon the mythos of this world a little bit, because he talks about conquering Paya, which is the kingdom to the east. But then he's like, there are stories of cities to the north and to the south and even further to the east that can be conquered. And so like, it makes you wonder like, okay, what other tribes are out there? What's going on in other parts of the country? You know, like I'd like to see that, you know.
I'd love to see like what New York City looks like at this point.
I want to see what Las Vegas
Pretty
is
much the
like.
same thing.
You think? Las Vegas looks the same.
It's probably just empty.
It's just empty and there's no water.
A lot of gambling.
Lake Mead is just a bunch of barrels with bodies in it.
Yeah.
Same.
happening.
Allegiant Stadium's still probably there.
Yeah, probably.
They're probably covering the doorway up with a satellite dish.
New York built a wall of tires around it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
You could have like Kurt Russell in there, you know, being the leader of New York. Surfing in New York. Yes. Give me that.
I think the satellite dish is going to be my thing.
USS DirecTV. Yeah.
Fucking A, dude. Proper, bro.
I wonder who came up with that. It was like, hey, let's have a satellite dish we're gonna use as a door.
You guys are stuck on the weirdest shit.
Did Momoa come down and like pull it off the top of the battleship?
With one string.
Clunk. How did I get it back up there?
Fuck knows, dude.
To the winch, wench.
Okay.
Like that's real seal.
I tried to give this show a compliment. You guys are like, nah. Fuck the satellite.
Listen, they don't expect us to be.
I hope they
anything
don't.
but
I hope they
what
don't.
we do. We are what we are.
We are what we are.
We love you guys, but come on. Fucking satellite dish. Get a piece of fucking iron. Yeah. Put a fucking piece of wood over it. Or, you know, a piece of plywood or something would be better than that fucking.
Remember last season where you said why didn't they just have people up there to push the rock down?
Yeah.
And they were like,
Interesting.
This is another one of those situations.
so you're saying not use a satellite dish? But we have a satellite
But we have a satellite dish.
Literally curved. So people can walk in on both sides of it.
What are we supposed to do?
Or they could just roll it away.
Yeah, just remove it.
We're such assholes.
We could have just made like a big salad in it.
Yeah, it's like a huge salad bowl,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Put it on the bottom and fill it with water, make a pool out of it, you know, get a pool parties. Fuck it, whatever.
Can we make a satellite dish T-shirt?
I'm going to get
Something somehow?
Tormata has a piece of his costume that I want to go down to Home Depot and buy a wire wheel disc and just strap it to my chest for his costume. That's going to be my cosplay.
Flavor Flav.
I do love how evil they're playing Tormata in this episode.
Yeah.
He's
Like
he's a
this,
straight up villain.
yeah,
dude.
this is the first time we've actually gotten to hear him speak, and it's just wonderful, like how dripping with evil delight Hewlett's playing this.
I mean, we are a little biased towards David Hewlett. I'm not gonna lie, but I want him to have this character that just like fucks things up all season long, and then has the most grotesque, fucking gnarly death at the end of season 3.
I get it.
I want him to go out in a blaze of glory. I really do. Because
there's also a great line in the scene where he's like, you know, Ito's been banging that drum, and now we're going to take up where he left off, and she's like, well, you know, the triangle didn't listen to that drum, and he's like, I think we can all agree that our drum's a little bit louder now.
Do you remember the scene in season 1 when Baba Voss is like sticking his thumbs in Jerla Morel's eye holes? He's like, "You did this.
You did this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picturing what is he gonna do that's worse to Hewlett?
In the trailer, there's a scene where Tormanda is like, whatever his fucking name is. Tormata is like in this hallway, and it's just completely in flames, and his hair's all fucked up. And I'm like, I think they might burn him.
Oh, that's not a good way to go.
I want another "you did this to yourself" moment between Momoa and Hewlett, though. I feel like they've earned that in the history of the relationship.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
After he wipes his face with the pile of.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So gross. Why?
Go ahead. Take it away, Kaden.
Tormata would probably actually like that. You know, he's into weird stuff. All right. Meanwhile, Magra has lunch with her children. Hanawa is pissed that people with sight are still scared to reveal themselves under Magra's rule, and Kofun hates his sight, hates his kid, and apparently hates his twin sister now too. The twins fight, and Kofun storms off after Hanawa calls him out on being a bad father. When she points out Baba Voss wouldn't approve of Kofun's behavior, Magra points out that Baba Voss left them. But Hanawa also reminds her that Magra was the one who lied to him and drove him away.
Shut up, Hanawa.
No.
She's right, though.
She's right. And I love the little head twitch attitude she has with Kofun. She's like, you're a bad dad. Fuck you.
and Mom, you were a bad wife.
Oh, can we talk about the continuity between Magra and Sibith eating the same exact way? Which is like,
Oh, yeah. I was definitely picking up some Queen Kane vibes.
very much
from
so.
Margaret in
Yeah.
this episode.
And she's sitting there. She's like,
I mean,
I'm not listening to this right now. And she just continues to eat. I loved it, dude.
She's done a good job.
Yeah.
You know, but she's right. You get the queen, you get some responsibilities. You have to do some shit you probably don't want to do.
Yeah. I'm just talking about
know?
like them being sisters. They have some of the same
Definitely.
Mannerisms.
thank you, mannerisms and
I'm
stuff.
probably pretty sure that they had somebody come in and it's like, what can we do to make you guys more?
Well,
Similar,
when we
yeah.
talked
Like
to Sylvia
similar.
the other day, she was saying that they're actually pretty close. They
Yeah.
probably just got together and they were like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You want to do it too?
It's like, hey, how did you eat that chicken in season 2? Like this.
If Margaret starts talking like this, starts, being very strange with the way I'm gonna lose my mind. Because I hope she does.
she starts wearing those headpieces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she
Starts going a little nuts. Yeah, I can see it.
Awesome.
Well, there was a point in the episode where she starts caressing the ropes of law, just like Sibith did in the first season.
Sibith.
Yeah.
Sibith.
Sibith.
What a weird name.
That is a weird name.
I kind of like it.
You're gonna name your next dog Sibith?
But that part where Kofun just like stabs his knife into the table
God.
and like, leaves.
You're not intimidating, Kofun.
You big bad man now.
I don't want to have a kid. I've said it before too, bro.
I really hate it when my aunt gives me a hand job.
Where's the intimacy coach when you need her?
Yeah.
God damn it, Kofun. Just can't with this guy, dude.
leaving. My aunt seduced me. Yeah.
Well, you know his character arc over the course of the season is going to be like, oh, I'm going to become the father
That I never
son.
had or something like that.
He'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I don't know if I'll be able to buy it, dude. I don't know if I'll be able to buy it.
I'm going to predict that one of the twins dies
You think so?
by the end.
We'll see.
I'm good. Just gonna throw that out there.
Okay. All right. Continue on, Kadish. Go ahead.
All right. Speaking of Baba Voss, he finally shows up halfway into the episode, and when he does, he's smelling poop and rescuing dogs. When a mysterious stranger tries to sneak up on him, Baba Voss proves he's still boss and gets the drop on him. We're introduced to a new character named Ranger, an old friend of Baba's from his Alka-Seltzer days. In punishment for making so much noise that Baba could hear him sneaking up on him, Baba takes a handful of poop from his poop pouch and smears it on Ranger's face, as friends do. Ranger and Baba then climb a couple hundred feet up a sheer cliff wall because nothing is more relaxing than blind people climbing up a precarious mountain face. Just like in episode 6 of season 1, where Baba Voss had the help of his 2 sighted children to tell him where to put his hands and feet, and he still only barely survived. Ranger celebrates surviving the climb by getting high on some rather unstable herbs. Baba is content with his contact high from Ranger's crack pipe and still laments that he ruins the lives of everyone he cares about. Ranger and Baba then return to their camp with dinner and are greeted by Lou, Ranger's girlfriend. Hey, remember Lou from season 1, episode 1? Back when she was Bailu, Bowlion's sister? The one that wanted to kill Baba Voss and hand Magra and the twins over to the Witchfinders? Well, turns out she still hates Baba Voss and blames him for the destruction of the Alka-Seltzer tribe. It seems Baba has been crashing on her couch, making long-distance phone calls and leaving poop pouches lying around, and Lou's deadbeat stoner boyfriend doesn't want to kick his buddy out, much to Lou's chagrin. Hey, speaking of Bowlion, guess who shows up? With a familiar chet-chet, Bowlion makes her way to her sister's hiding place to try to convince Baba to return to civilization. But Baba wants none of what Bowlion has to sell.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about here.
First off,
Go ahead.
I'm hating the synopsis.
Can you write the next one?
That was actually his best one.
That was better than
That was his best
the
chapter
Bears
so far.
one. For sure.
So I just want to throw this out there. Nothing against the guy playing Ranger, but they should have cast Snoop Dogg as Ranger.
Listen.
Okay. They should have been Snoop. And Snoop can act. He can do it.
Yeah.
And he can sit there and he can smoke on that fucking blunt.
You know what you need to do, man?
You know, my
Snoop was like, you ain't rubbing that poop in my chair.
Yeah.
Why does he have a poop pouch?
I don't fucking know.
What
Listen,
the fuck?
I have a theory. I'm just going to throw, and this might be a little egotistical of me, but I have a theory, and I don't know if it's going to hold true, but we're going to find out. I just have an inkling in my mind. Ranger is us. Like, he's always the one telling Baba, like, bro, you're fucking things up, man.
You're making an analogy between our podcast and Ranger.
Are you saying they invented a character to represent our podcast on the show?
A little bit.
Fuck you.
I think it's a little bit
Fuck
egotistical of you.
You sweet
but I
summer
can see it.
child.
I'm going to go with it.
Like, he's always kind of giving Baba, like, this weird advice that's kind of true, but a little bit dickish.
Yeah.
And you got to eat, you know, he makes him eat shit because he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
So, Baba, next time you're in a battle, have a couple guys on top of the cliff to push the boulder instead of him pulling it into the ice water. Yeah.
I mean, I just thought about that. Like,
I wonder about the decision is like, okay, let's have these two guys climb up 100-foot cliff for no reason.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
Especially considering how dangerous that is for blind people.
That's dangerous for sighted people.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
I just kept thinking of Star Trek V, where Kirk just like
there was no
He's climbing.
There's no rocket boots.
There's no rocket boots for this show.
boots, yeah.
So the Boat Lion family is back.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was a deep cut from
That was
season
a
one.
real deep cut.
Because Belu was only in like one episode.
Yeah. The very beginning, right? The
Yep,
first episode when they came out of that cave and they were all standing there like, I stand with Baba Voss. And she's like, fuck no.
Yeah. Belu was the one like after Bo Lion declared for Baba Voss, she's like, fuck Baba Voss.
Yeah.
Let's kill these guys.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, they have a really cool pad inside a bomber from World War II.
Yeah. That's still around 500 years later.
Yeah.
Do you think they have a satellite dish door?
I don't have any doors.
I just found it funny, like how frustrated she was with her deadbeat stoner boyfriend and letting his buddy crash at their pad for months on end.
9 months, right?
Look,
200 something days.
That's what friends do. You know, you're just like, yeah, man, you can crash at my pad for a
Okay.
couple days. And, you know, then 6 months later, it's like, yo, man, what are you doing?
Yeah, but she blames him for the death of everyone she knew, including
Yeah.
her mother.
The whole Alkindi
And,
tribe.
you know, she's not wrong.
She's not.
But
They
she's
threw the
not
money to
right
us.
either. They both have points.
We have to discuss the whole shit eating thing. Wow.
I don't understand.
Why?
Why?
Boys will be boys.
It's kind of like
And that's
it's
how
a
we-
hazing ritual, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like in the production meeting, and they're sitting there like, okay, these guys are going to be playing a game, and whoever can get the drop on the other one loses.
Like,
What are they going to lose?
They either get a rope burn or what are those? Or,
rope burn.
What are those called? Rope burn with
Indian rug burn.
Indian rug burn.
We can't say that.
Yeah.
What? What's wrong
It's
with that?
Native American
Native
rug burn.
American rug burn. Yeah. No.
Oh, have we? I'm gonna crisscross applesauce now too.
A commander burn.
You know how I read the poop pouch thing? I think that was Momoa's idea because he just wanted to smear poop on someone's face.
Yeah.
It wasn't really poop though, was it?
How do you know?
It looked pretty gnarly.
He did gag after.
It doesn't. I don't care what it is. It looked.
It
pretty
looked
fucking
gross. Why is he carrying it around in a pouch?
Well, you know, hunters like to smear shit.
Is it his poop?
And poop and pee and stuff on themselves, so they blend in with their surroundings
That would make you.
when they're out hunting.
Well,
how it
so
works.
maybe that's how he sneaks up on all these deers that he's shot.
so if you guys remember in the first season and the second season, there were these things where he would smear like mud on his face and
Right,
stuff like that. And a lot of this stuff is to basically mask their scent so that they can't be tracked by like sentiers and stuff like that. And so like it would make sense that he would carry around
Witchfinders?
some poop with him just to like throw out like mask his scent in
Is
some
it-
way.
That's
Is it his
exactly
poop?
what I just said.
Is it somebody else's
No,
poop?
because he's
that's a real
masking
thing.
his scent, so it wouldn't be human poop.
Okay.
You know, you can go to the sporting goods. You can go to Dick's right now.
Yeah, you can get pee
and buy like
a bottle of pee.
you know urine spray to spray on yourself when you go out hunting.
Maybe that's how he's hunting these bucks with a samurai sword.
I just said that.
I know you did. I'm agreeing with you. Just because I'm saying something
Yeah.
that I agree with you
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm taking it away from you.
I also liked how he rescued the dog. That was nice.
Oh, that was cool. The wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a German Shepherd,
It
right?
was. It was a dog.
Yeah,
Feral dog.
No.
Well,
This show now has two wolfies.
it's one of those dogs that witchfinders would use to navigate like the terrain.
Oh,
And so
okay.
obviously it was like a runaway or someone that got left behind or something like that.
Maybe it was one of the ones that Hewlett sent to track him down. Where'd the trap come from? Whose trap was that?
That's what I was asking myself
I
too.
don't know.
I just was like, there's a
It,
trap
it
out
might
there.
it might have been Baba Voss's trap.
Maybe.
Who knows?
All right, let's continue on.
All right, back in Pensa, Hanawa is on the hunt for Ro Vano, the sighted guy who just wants to be left alone. Unfortunately, Lucian, a former witchfinder, has captured Vano and plans to burn him just like the witch he is, after making a rousing speech to the gathering crowd in the market square. Well, Hanawa isn't having any of this witch-burning nonsense, and against Charlotte's advice, declares herself and tells the witchfinders that Ro Vano can't see, pretty much after they've already lit him on fire, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Anyway, after not saving Vano, Hanawa and Charlotte fight the anti-sight mob, and Charlotte drags Hanawa away to safety after she screams, "I see all of you, you'll pay for this."
Okay, first off, how does a guy who can see get caught by a bunch of blind people?
Well, he's related to Kofun.
Well,
Obviously.
Also, the witchfinders are like experienced in trapping sighted people, I guess.
Okay, still.
So this is
I don't buy it. I don't buy anybody with sight being ever being captured by blind people. Even it's like even season 1 when Kofun got captured by the slavers.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that then either. It just it makes no sense to me.
Well, I think
unless
that
he was asleep and they snuck up on him. And how did they find out?
what if
he
they
was
corner
blind?
him? Like one of them's like, "Hey, can you see?" He's like, "Oh no, not at all." And then
Yeah,
like
so-
while they're distracting him, somebody comes up behind him.
You
And
just
But
grabs
like
him.
they've done a really good job showing that Kofun and Hanawa rely too heavily upon their sight, and that's how they've gotten themselves
Yeah.
into other traps before.
Okay. You were gonna say?
I don't know. It's fine. I just have a hard time buying into the fact that this guy who's, can see can be captured by anybody that's blind.
The thing I have the hardest time with is that this is now basically a new city where it's been declared by their queen that sight is a-okay. And they're burning people in the middle of
Well, it's
the
like-
town square as a mob.
It's-
Like, where's the military?
It's like a rebellion almost.
Yeah, they actually mentioned this in a later scene where like there are these little things that are being led by the witchfinders that didn't agree with Magra's proclamation at the end of last season. And this character Lucian, he's actually played by Dean Jager, who plays the character Dylan Leary in Tropper's other show, Warrior. He's like the head Irish guy.
Okay.
who
Yeah,
leads the
that's what I
gangs.
know him from.
Yeah, he did look familiar
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah, but I just think it's always funny how Hanawa, like, in the Battle of Green Hill Gap, she didn't tell anyone to duck when they started like firing crossbows at him. And in this one, like she waits until like they're literally lighting the guy on fire before she's like, "Wait, stop.
No.
Don't do it." And Charlotte's just like, "Fuck."
Oh yeah, I love Charlotte's like satire in this whole thing. She's like, "Oh, okay, we're just gonna tell everybody then. All right."
And Charlotte's the chick she's like the
Yeah, she's the ninja chick.
what do they call those?
The circle.
The
But-
circle
oh,
chick,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah,
She's-
was it the compass or the circle?
Oh no, it's the compass.
The compass, yeah.
And you'd think that they'd be like the Queen's Guard or something like that, but there's just one of them.
No, they got
No.
they got.
We don't have any more compass people, and we don't have any more shadows. I miss the shadows.
Shadows need to come back. The naked mud people.
Mm-hmm.
That was Bo Line.
Yeah.
It was.
I think didn't they kind of like write
Yeah,
that
they
out?
kind of just forgot.
Didn't-
about
Yeah.
Trapper said, "I chose to forget about that."
Right, I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
think Chopper said we just wrote them out.
Yeah, we're not
Because
doing that anymore. That's fine.
I like that whole thing. That was kind of cool.
The shadows.
But, yeah.
We
The
make so
actors
much.
didn't want to be covered in mud,
Yeah, I get it.
but they don't mind poop.
Mud, poop.
All right, Katie, just go ahead.
Inside Old Maid, Magra is convening with her small council as they discuss the consequences of handing Queen Kane over to the Travantians. Ambassador Trover will be in Pensa soon, and there is growing religious unrest over Magra's support for those with sight. The council is divided on whether they can trust the Travantians and whether or not Sibith's death will actually create more problems than it solves. Though Harlan puts the dissenters in their place, Magra is still struggling with handing her sister over to be killed. This is complicated when Harlan informs her that the Travantians want a public trial of Sibith, which means they will spend years torturing and humiliating her. Now Magra is faced with a difficult choice: hand her sister over to the Travantians for a drawn-out and painful death, or save her life and go to war with the Travanti.
What can somebody remind me what Sibith did to the Travantians?
So she blamed them for her destruction of Payan, the city that she flooded.
Yeah.
And
She
then
started that war.
and then started a war with them based off of those false accusations.
Okay.
And then remember when they went to like have their truce and she sent assassins to kill everyone?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
If I feel like the Travantians are being played up as this massive conquering army, that their only goal is out there just to conquer,
expand
the free world and expand. But yet, prior to Queen Kane provoking them, they kind of left them alone. So what are they, bad guys or are they good guys now? I mean, who's what in this thing?
I don't think anybody's like an outright bad guy. I don't think Travantes is a bad city. I think they're just a city that has desires to grow. And to get more land and more.
We went through the whole thing with Hewlett's character saying we're going to take over the whole world.
Yeah, we're going to be the biggest empire ever.
Yeah.
Well, one of the interesting things about the scene with Hewlett with Tormata was he was saying that in the East, Travanti is basically so industrialized, and in the East they have lands to grow crops and abundant coal and stuff like that, where like if they got those resources, it would help with their kind of over-industrialized like city-state. So there are motivations for like this battle of resources in the East.
Yeah. I don't think it's outright like evil empire coming to take you over. I think it's just a natural two warring cities.
Well, they're also very militaristic, the Travantians. And so like they're just like they're kind of like Rome. They're just like a conquering force.
Yeah. Continue on.
All right. Speaking of the Travantians, guess who shows up at Pensa? If you guessed Deputy Siobhan Kelly, who traveled all the way from Banshee, you'd be right. Only now she goes by the name Ambassador Trover, and she's all about negotiations, as long as those negotiations involve Harlan's dick. Now that the Travantian envoy is here, Tamakta June and Harlan go to get Sibeth to hand over the crazy queen to face justice, but Magra, being the terrible queen that she is, decides to protect the woman who literally murdered an entire city, started a war under false pretenses that killed hundreds of Pensans, brutally hunted down Magra's children for most of their lives, and wiped out the entire Alka-Seltzer tribe. But Magra is afraid of handing over a crazy mass murderer because it will make her look weak and desperate, proving once and for all that the Kanes are terrible at ruling stuff. When Harlan points out that the Tarantians will not be happy about this decision, Magra tells Harlan to fix it with his dick.
Literally.
What happened to Magra saying, like, it's just a marriage on paper, I'm going to have Harlan take over, and then you and I, Baba Voss, are going to ride off into the sunset with our children? That's out the fucking window?
I guess.
I mean, she's
queen now.
She doesn't care if, Harlan has to use his
masculine wiles.
Oh
my God.
to get things rolling. I mean, he's definitely sleeping with the ambassador of the Travantians. I mean, that's the whole plan.
Well, he's not getting it from Magra.
Magra don't give a shit.
Yeah, you wonder if in the year that's passed between season 2 and 3, like, has Magra given him anything?
Probably not. I wouldn't imagine so. I think Henna would have something to say about that.
I mean, they both know it's a marriage of convenience, right?
Yeah, they're both on the same page.
Well, also, like, marrying Magra, that makes Harlan the king consort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like he would have like certain duties and a certain amount of power, especially considering the fact that he was like the liege lord of Pensa.
Mm-hmm.
So he constantly seems like just being like, I don't know, subservient to Magra, even though she's obviously making one wrong decision after another. Like when he kind of quells the dissenters in the small council, nothing of what he said was true. like Magra did not make these decisions on her own. Most of the decisions she made were wrong. And it was really Baba Voss who kind of like pulled their ass out of the fire on that one.
That's interesting. I forgot about that because he did credit her with a lot from last season that I think was more other people telling her to do something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I understand where she's coming from. She's like, I don't want to, like, I know she's a terrible person, but she's still my sister. I'm not just going to go and sacrifice her.
I'm not really buying that.
You don't buy it?
No, because Queen Kane is irredeemable.
But wasn't she the one, Magra said in the last season, she was like, I'm taking your freaking kid away from you and you're going with this. She was determined to like remove her from the situation.
They should have had her, like, I guess this is their version of a prison, but it's not. It's just a room and there's a couple of guys outside. They should have had her in a fucking cell like Baba Voss was.
She's chained up. She just has like a pillow on the floor, like a dog mat.
Like she's gotten too close to her sister because like we've seen that they've had tender moments, like especially when Magra like had to go marry Harlan, they had this very tender moment of like their family, and she needs to separate herself from her sister because she's a weak bitch also who is very easily swayed with like Use your heart, Magra. What does your heart say?
Also considering the fact that like, you know, Magra was close with Paris for literally decades. She was like a mother figure to Magra, and Sibeth murders her at the end of like the last season. You would think that would, you know, kind of seal the deal where it's like, okay, as soon as this baby's out of her, like we're getting rid of her. So like this whole thing about like, I don't want to become my sister by handing my sister over to be like tortured and killed. It doesn't make any sense, because if anyone deserved it, it was Sibeth.
Well, even if she was like, I don't feel good about having my sister tortured, like negotiate like a proper death. Like just, okay, you can have her, but we're not gonna like draw this out.
Right there.
Yeah. Like just like he wanted to chop her head off in the last season.
Yeah.
Like just have it be done.
I like how Harlan and Tamakta June just go up there and say, listen, she had her baby. This is like 30 seconds after she pooped out the kid. That she like, okay, she had the kid, let's kill her and get her out of here.
Yeah, and that makes a good point, because in season 2, Magra was all about killing Sibeth. She was like, this is the only way we can get rid of her.
She's had a weird character change in the last 9 months or whatever it's been.
She's gotten too close. Jude said it. All right, continue on, Cage.
All right. Back in the woods, Bo Lion is trying to convince Baba to either return to his family or come to the hidden tribes to train the orphans of the soldiers who died at Green Hill Gap. Before Baba can tell Bo Lion to fuck off for the millionth time, who should appear but none other than Lieutenant Commander Dr. Rodney Tormata, whose spies followed Bo Lion to Baba Voss's hiding place. So much for the shadow training, am I right?
Like for real.
Tormata does what any good villain would do by monologuing and taunting Baba Voss from the surrounding woods, explaining his evil plan for revenge in great detail. Baba is immediately on guard because he doesn't have any citrus to fight Dr. Rodney with, and everyone knows poop pouches have no effect on evil geniuses. Tormata's taunts finally get to Bo Lion, though, as she charges into the woods to kill Tormata. But before Baba Voss can stop her, she triggers a landmine and gets blown the fuck up. Baba Voss is knocked out by the blast, and thinking Baba Voss is dead, Tormata leaves a smug smile on his face.
I'm sorry, but you should not be able to sneak up on Bo Lion.
No. I mean, I
sneak up? Oh, you mean because they followed her?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't sneaking up on her. They were just like tracking her.
There's a bunch of fucking people sneaking up on this whole
little compound
or whatever it is.
I know Tropper told us that they kind of got rid of
the shadow thing.
Yeah. But they could have. I would have done it like maybe nobody else's. Maybe it was a lost art. Maybe Bo Lion was
I
the
would
last
have believed
shadow
it if they had
or
snuck
something
up
like
on
that.
the stoner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Bo Lion.
Jude's like, he's right there.
And then they fucking kill her off.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm so pissed.
Why?
I'm not happy about this either.
I love Bo Lion.
I kind of
For real?
Yeah, I kind of like Bo Lion.
She showed up for like 30 seconds in season 2.
She was kind of like a recurring character. Kill off that other bitch, Ranger's wife.
Yeah.
Kill her off because we don't like her anyway.
She's like, get off my lawn.
Yeah,
blows up.
Yeah, for sure.
Kill Ranger. Who the fuck even is that guy? He's got a beard full of poop. Get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally with you.
I did love how Tormata kind of like baited Baba Voss in this scene, because we talked to David Hewlett, and he was like, I shot this with Jason had already shot all of his stuff, so like I'm just talking to like no one in the woods, and then like you see how like they intercut it to make it seem like Hewlett was actually there like interacting with Jason Momoa, but there was just something so creepy about that scene where like he's just like Baba, I know you're there. Like it was really kind of like a cool scene that really sets up like, oh, Tormata just blew Baba the fuck up.
Yeah, but I wanted to like, okay, so he's there to get Baba. Bo Lion was just like collateral damage.
Yeah.
So what happens after this? Does he actually capture him?
Guess we'll find out next week.
Tune in next week.
You know what I would have rather had
conclusion.
this scene do? Remember the scene in True Romance when the bad guys come and Brad Pitt is like stoned out of his mind. He's like, I'm not gonna fucking kill you, man. Like I would have appreciated a scene like that when Tormata comes up and like fucking stoner guy is just like,
goofing
man,
around.
I don't even know, man. And
Yeah.
Tormata just gets pissed and like throws a grenade at him and walks away, and then boom, the whole thing explodes.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been funnier
Funnier?
and better.
Okay. All right.
Don't kill Bo Lion. Don't kill her again.
You know what would have fixed the whole thing is if Ranger and his wife had a really cool satellite dish protecting them in their house.
It is shaped like a shield, right?
Like a shield, yeah. For sure.
For sure.
God damn it.
And they wouldn't have been able to like get in there,
Does he has landmines now?
I guess.
Because before he had to light a fuse.
I don't know. Apparently, they figured out the tripwire technology.
That's what I'm asking.
Well,
Like,
I don't know.
Well, what's crazy is Bowline. So like, you wouldn't think that she'd just go charging in because like you think that she's
she's a
like
stealth
get all
character.
ninja.
Yeah.
Like remember that scene in season 1 where like they're going through like the sound traps to get to Driller Morell's place, and she's like stepping like very like stealthily, and it's just like, where was that Bowline?
Yeah,
Dead.
none of this made sense for her character.
Like she was even ninja when she tracked down Tamakta June in the
on the
the
beach.
village
yeah,
season.
on the
Yeah.
beach scene where she like snuck up on him and overheard
She's
what they were talking about.
the sneakiest fucking person in this whole show.
she's
Maybe
just like-
other than Baba Voss.
She's like, fuck it, I'm going in.
Yeah, this made no sense.
Okay.
They should have had, what's his name? Jester or Ranger, whatever
Ranger.
his name is. They should have had him
or
do
they should have
that.
had the dog. They should have had the dog run
Oh,
up.
nobody kills dogs.
don't
in
kill the
shows.
dog.
You can't kill a dog.
I love that. And they called him No. Dog's name is No. What are you
No.
going to call the dogs? I don't know. No. Fuck off, dog. Get out of here.
That's a good name for a
It's
dog.
a great
No.
dog. And his line after
Stop
that,
it.
Ranger's like, that's going to be one really confused dog.
And he's like, it's not my dog.
It's not my dog, God damn it.
It's
I
not
love
my
it.
baby.
That's where Kofun got it from. Yeah, that's right. Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. It's not my baby. Kofu's
my
not even
dog.
his kid.
Be funny if Kofun was like, nope. The name's not Wolfie. It's nope.
Nope. He comes in. The only thing he does as a father and names it. Nope. Or
First of his name.
First of his name. Nope.
Or oops. Or damn it.
I take it back. Can I take my semen back?
your name shall be Take Backsies. Fuck,
His
man.
name shall be, well, shit.
Do you think Queen Kane's gonna boots Kofun at some point?
In the trailer. There's a scene where he gets fucking thrown down on his knees. It looks like he's gonna get executed. I don't think they're gonna do it though.
I'm gonna give my my prognostication right now. I'm gonna say that Kofun dies. Also, so does Queen Kane, and Hanawa and Ren take the baby and raise it
Okay.
and walk
With
off,
the compass.
walk
think-
off into the sunset.
I think that's a reasonable prediction.
In her high-rise apartment that she still has.
I'm kind of with you, but
I think Baba Voss sacrifices himself so
Oh,
that
no.
the twins can live. I think that's going to be how the season ends.
What about you? What do you think is gonna happen?
I'm with Jude. I was going to say something really similar to
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Well,
I really hope Baba Voss doesn't die at the end of this. He can't.
I think the death toll in this season is going to be large.
It probably
It's
will.
going to be very large because it's the final season. They're wrapping things up. They don't want to leave too many untied storylines. The death toll is going to be high for this.
Maybe Tamakta June will sacrifice himself or something for Harlan. 'Cause, Harlan and Tamakta June got a thing. Like, I think they got a thing. What do you think?
I'm not getting those
I
vibes.
never thought that before, but now I'm going to be watching.
Are you shipping Harlan and Tamaki?
Fuck, dude.
Tamakta Harlan.
Oh no.
Tamaktalin.
To Harla June.
It's Harlan June.
Jesus Christ.
I hate that shipping shit.
I do too. I hate it too.
I shouldn't do
I
that.
don't think you do.
I do.
God damn it.
I'm like 3 shots in here. It's ridiculous.
They do have like a funny frenemy buddy cop vibe.
They do.
That would be a fun spinoff.
Because
Harlan and
they're
Tamaki.
always-
Too old for this
They're always
shit.
walking into Sibith's chambers together. You notice this, right?
Well, because they both want to kill her.
Yeah. It's like, how are we going to kill this bitch today? I don't know, but you're really turning
They've
me on.
probably tried everything, and she's just wilier than they
Oh, God.
anticipated.
There we go.
Well, it's
God
been
damn it.
established Harlan goes both ways, right?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's polish this.
When you're blind, what difference does it make?
It all feels the same,
All
right?
feels
Yeah.
good.
Fucking assholes.
Warm. It's warm.
Stick it in your poop pouch.
Probably a little hairy, whether either side you're going on.
All
Doesn't
right.
matter.
Final thoughts. Before I
That's
kind of
why
stop
he
you.
has that shit on the back of his head. He's like, pull my hair.
Yeah. My final thoughts for episode
What do you
1.
think about episode 1 of season 3?
I really hate the satellite dish. It's
Okay.
fucking ridiculous. It's like, come on.
That's a weird thing to get hung up on.
Dude, I was hung up on the same thing.
I got hung up on it the millisecond it fucking dropped over the door. I'm like, what?
Fagunk.
That's real secure.
And they had to cut away before it fell over.
You know, I know it didn't happen, but I know fucking Chopper is sitting up there. He's like, this is gonna piss Vader off. This is gonna make him mad. And I hope it is what he thought. And I know it's not, but I hope it is. But you know what? It's cool. I still hate Tamakta June's haircut. But then I realized when I look at his social media, that's his actual haircut. And so I can't hate on it too hard. He just said, "Fuck you, I'm not cutting it."
I'm not shaving my hair off. Sylvia's not shaving her hair off. I'm not doing it.
No, not at all. This is my kid and play haircut. Okay. Just make it fucking go straight up. Give
him a fucking mohawk.
Put some gel in it. Shit.
Yes.
Just fucking kid and play that thing.
Fucking Witchfinder General. Jude.
Yes.
Final thoughts.
I wasn't done.
Oh, you're not done?
But
I'm
it's
sorry.
up- no,
Go ahead. No,
I'm
continue.
done.
Oh,
I'm
now
done.
you're done.
Now I'm done.
Fucking diva.
Okay.
Jude, go ahead.
Mostly I hate Vader. I hate what they did with Bo Lion.
Yeah,
I
me too.
hate the poop beard. That's so weird. I'm excited to be back in the world of C.
Cool.
Me too.
Kadish?
I agree. I'm excited to come back to this world. I'm kind of sad that this is the final season, but at the same time, like, it's fun to get to see like Hewlett like really like chew the scenery.
He's having
totally
the
does.
best time with his
yeah.
character this season.
yeah, and like even when we talked to him, he was just like, I had a lot of fun. Like I think he said like this is the most fun he's had on a production in a long time. So you can tell that he was just like chewing the scenery. Like the show looks gorgeous. The scale has been like amped up to 11.
Too bad nobody on the show can see it.
Yeah, but I'm getting hints of season 1 here where there's just
Yeah.
there's some ridiculous stuff going on here.
You know what I
That's
really
okay.
want to see? Like,
I want to see.
Vader's got me thinking with the whole satellite dish door thing. I want to see like somebody get trapped in a cave and like the door to the cave is just like
A leaned up piece of wood.
No, like a sheet full of water bottles that they fashioned together as like chainmail, but it's all water bottles.
So just plastic chain.
I want to see Magra pray.
More prayer. Yeah,
That's a Sibith thing. I don't know. We haven't seen Sibith pray yet.
I want to go to that church.
Just gooey everywhere.
Everybody pray. Oh,
you got to pray just to make it today.
That's why we pray.
This show is so fucking goofy.
They've
dude.
never gone back to the praying thing.
They haven't. They're like, oh.
No, they did it in season 2, but she got interrupted by Harlan.
Bring the prayer back. I want to pray again.
Well, do you remember, like, me and Jude were watching it, and that part where Rin at the beginning, she starts sliding down that rope. We were like, wouldn't it be funny if she was just tying knots on the way down, where it's just like, fuck you. Like, there's so much stuff that didn't make any sense in this episode, but at the same time, you're like, it's C. Like,
Yeah.
Let's just have fun with it. Yeah.
But the introduction of the poop pouch, you know, the satellite dish door, there's just so much stuff in here. We're just like, you know, I really
fuse, like how long do they know how to make the fuse for?
I really love and respect Jonathan Tropper, but at the same time, I'm like, were you hitting the Glenn Levitt a bit hard there?
You're a crazy guy. I like you, but you're crazy.
I had a blast. I agree with Jude. I'm just happy to be back into this universe. It's so fun and goofy and weird, and I love breaking it down. I love just looking at it and just going like, what the fuck, dude? This is crazy. Again, I agree with Kadish. Hewlett is just having a blast, and you can tell it's coming across in the character. I have a gut feeling like the shit pouch was directed right at us. That's just my theory. I can't prove it. I'm probably being an egotistical jerk right now, but
I don't think we're that important.
maybe not. I don't know.
If anything, the satellite dish was the representation of this podcast. Didn't belong.
That's you.
Doesn't really help anything. Yeah.
Fucking shit
You know
pouch.
what I think is like season 1 was so bad that it was good. It became funny and good, but they fixed so much in season 2 that it became too good. And now I think they're just having fun with the final season.
Well, they're like, hey, it's final season, guys. Go ham. And they're like, okay.
Yeah. We're gonna take the theme for season 3 is gonna be fuck it.
And I'm
I'm
down.
on board. I'm on
good.
board.
I'm in. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a fun episode, and it kind of caught us back up with all the characters. And the trailer for this season looks epic, and I can't wait to see some of these battle scenes. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a great couple of weeks talking to you guys about this show. So I'm looking forward to it.
Here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see Kofun's character get redeemed.
Oh, just let him go out.
I just want him to be an asshole,
Dipshit.
irredeemable, a dipshit, and then I want him to die.
That's so terrible. Oh, just don't hurt the baby or the dog.
He's going to be like, oh, I love my
It's fucking Tamakta June.
Shut up.
Shut up, stupid kid.
He's got his arm around Queen Kane.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, we're going to be a family. Mwah. And she's like,
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
Death by fingernail.
She neck shivs him. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's where it ends.
And then Hanawa is behind her, and
She's like, skunk.
yeah, she shoots an arrow through Queen Kane.
And then as Kofun is dying, he sees Toad in like a fever dream, and Toad's just like, you fuck.
Kofun returns.
Toad. He's with Paris. Paris is standing next to him like Force Ghost from Star Wars. Just fucking, god damn it, Tofun.
Have fun storming the galleys.
All right, let's polish this up. Vader, where can they find you on the socials, bud?
Oh, you can find me at MattVader74 on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And
All the places.
The places.
Cool.
Yes, for sure.
All right, Jude.
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram and on TikTok.
All right, Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter and Truth Social, and KadishBooks.com takes you to my Amazon page.
All right. And you guys want to chat with us about this show or any other shows we cover on the podcast, head over to saltynerdiscord.com and jump in. We have over 200 people in our Discord app now, which is amazing. We have a great community. Don't freaking hoo me. It's a great accomplishment. We got over 200 people and they're mostly active. That's really cool. But we do have a lot of people there, and we do watch parties every Monday. This month we're doing Buck Rogers. So if you want to watch Buck Rogers with us on Discord, head over there and jump in on Monday nights. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check us out on Spotify and Apple iTunes and all the social medias. We have our official podcast account across the board, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and places like that. So join us. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Stay salty.